Hey, baby. Testosterone Sports in the house. Checking out week 8 of the NFL fantasy season. And I'll tell you, Zach, I love this show almost as much as I love the NFL. I've been watching the NFL with vigor since I was 3. Dude, I mean, I wrote Dan Marino a letter in 3rd grade. So
I'm a huge Dan Marino fan, too.
Really?
I got his rookie card.
Got a little bit. Really? I got like 2 of them, man. I'm telling you.
I'm a huge Dan Marino
I have
fan.
a Dan Marino autographed football.
Oh, yeah?
I have to bring it on the show and show you
that.
sometime. No, but, you know, this is such a great thing fantasy football is. And if it wasn't for fantasy football, man, I'd have so much extra time on my hands. I don't know what I would do.
Half the men in America could probably tell you that much.
I know, right? It's a $1 billion industry these days. We get paid nothing. I think that we deserve 1%. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So anybody out there who's got 1% of $1 billion, you want to give it to us? Hey, go on to testosteronesports.com.
Yeah, we'll advertise you.
Go on to our website and check it out. And you can send us an email. We've got writer pages on there. Zach updates his writer pages. If you want some sleepers, you can check him out because he does sleepers each and every week. I've got my Big Ballers page where I'm playing around with some pictures and whatnot. And, you know, we're constantly doing new things. We like to update the newsbreakers, who's going to play this week, who's not, just a little bit of flavor and flair. We have a pick'em challenge that we like to do.
Hey, who's winning, by the way?
That would be me again,
really?
baby. Yeah, man. I pick it like 74%, dog.
So,
as far as the matchups go, there's a little bit of a yawner this weekend, although both these teams have a shot at the playoffs. Jacksonville goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dude, I'm telling you, Ernie Graham has got to be the unheralded pickup running back of the season. 194 all-purpose yards against the Lions. Didn't get into the end zone, but that's a fat average for a guy who was 3rd on the depth chart when the season began. And I'm surprised you don't like him more because I know you like the Tampa Bay running backs somewhat anyway.
who did they play last week?
They played Detroit.
Lions.
So what you're telling me is that you don't think Ernie Graham's going to put up 190 all-purpose yards again here against Jacksonville?
Absolutely not.
I think you're probably right
I would
about
bet a
that.
lot on that right now.
Although
I would sell high if you get something decent for Ernie Graham. Trade Ernie Graham.
Okay, well, and there might be an owner in your league who would like to have Ernie Graham now. You know, I say roll with the hot hand for the next few weeks. Let his average or his value continue to be puffed up, and then trade him when people think he's a little bit more stable. You know, I was impressed by his quickness. You know, he never seemed to me like to be the big kind of quick back. He seemed more like a grinder, like a Deshaun Wynn type.
He's more like I think he's more like a Lamont Jordan. He's got the receiving skills. He's heavy set and he's stout, but
surprisingly good. Yeah, surprisingly good. So as down on him as you are, you sure gave him several compliments there. Tell me who you think's going to win in this game. 2 teams who are really having a good way right now.
I would go Jacksonville. They're coming off a tough loss to the Colts, a team they usually play very well against, and they kind of came out kind of lackluster and didn't perform very well. However, they're kind of sitting a little tough at the quarterback situation. I think Gerard might be out.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see what happens.
So I don't know if they're going to play Quentin Gray, and I actually heard they might incorporate Matt Jones a little bit into the quarterbacking. So
which would be very interesting to see what happens. He's probably their emergency guy right now. Both these teams suffering tough losses in their last game, so I think their defense is going to be a big.
It'll be a defensive battle. I'd say the team that can come out and score maybe 2 touchdowns will be the team that'll win, and it might be a defensive touchdown too. So.
Another 2 teams who have a chance at the playoffs. The Washington Redskins go to the Patriots. Washington's surprisingly good. The Patriots having a decent season. If you have Tom Brady, then good for you. He put up so many points last week. A career best,
and
6 touchdowns.
The week before.
He's been going crazy, throwing the ball. Randy Moss is back in full effect, baby. And that should not change here in this game. I really like the Patriots, obviously. Should dole out another loss to the Washington Redskins. They're about to crash back to earth. Don't you think they're going to have a rough time in this game?
The Redskins?
Yeah.
Anybody playing the Patriots seems like they have a rough time, you know, defensively.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Sean Taylor blitz from the very beginning and knock Brady out of the game, to tell you the truth. That'd be their only chance of winning that game. Get Brady out of there.
Whatever. Yeah,
that's the only way to do it.
If you've got an offensive line as good as the Patriots, then you have no issues. They're going to be able to protect Brady. He's got the cannon and he's got the touch. So
and he throws, you know,
best quarterback in the league.
And he throws touchdowns with 6 minutes left when his team's up by 30.
Right, which is fantastic.
Which is awesome,
you know, going
for fantasy guys.
So
opposing coaches don't like it. But
if you have the ability, I say bench Clint Portis in this game, bench Santana Moss and Chris Cooley. I just think there's a chance and I never like to predict getting shut out, but I do think there's a chance Washington puts up the goose egg for your team. Although Chris Cooley wasn't good last week, he's probably the best play. They like to go to him in the red zone a lot.
Although Miami they scored 28 points last week with Cleo Lemon. So
right. So
you know they're going to be the Patriots are going to be scoring a lot of points. So,
right.
Washington's going to have to find some way of scoring points.
Right. Jason Campbell hasn't seen this type of defense yet.
Maybe Portis and Cooley would be a couple of guys to go to.
I mean, how do you bench Portis? You really can't. You really can't. New Orleans going to San Francisco. That should be an interesting game. San Francisco bringing some defense, but not being able to win so far a lot this season. Zach, why don't you give me your take on the New Orleans offense? How do you like Reggie here? What do you think he can do?
Well, the last couple of weeks we're starting to see the Saints of the 2006 season. They're throwing with a little bit more consistency. They're actually hitting some of their deep routes that they were used to throwing last year. And Reggie's getting his. He's proven that he can be maybe not an every down back, but he's a little more physical than what people might have given him credit for.
Yeah.
He had a really tough run last week where he ran a couple of guys and carried them into the end zone for a touchdown. So I expect a good game out of a lot of the Saints. Drew Brees and Reggie Bush, and Colson's he's been absolutely awful so far this year. He's got a couple touchdowns, and he's just not involved in the offense at all, it seems.
In my opinion, their team has gone with Brees, and Brees wasn't the same quarterback at the beginning of the season as he was in the last couple games. I think that if the Niners can get to Brees, rattle him a little bit, make him start thinking about his birthmark, that there's a good chance that he'll throw the ball to Nate Clements. And I'll tell you that the secondary, Walt Harris and Nate Clements from the San Francisco 49ers is really second to none, in my opinion. I think they're going to shut down the New Orleans passing game.
But the big thing with the Saints in the last couple of weeks is their offensive line has been playing so much better than they did right away.
Sure.
Brees he's getting time to look around the field and hit his receivers.
Yeah.
And his second and third receivers are Lance Moore and Devery Henderson had a long touchdown like he did last year.
So are you a fan of Vernon Davis? Do you like VD? Have you caught the VD? I don't.
I'm
like
a fan. He's got all the physical talents in the world. He just needs a quarterback that can throw the ball to him. And he has to stay healthy. I mean, his first game back again this year.
And quarterbacking has been a major issue for the 49ers. It seems like Trent Dilfer has shown a better propensity to throwing plastic cups on the sideline than he has footballs to his wide receivers. So don't expect much. And as long as their passing game isn't going well, Frank Gore is going to struggle.
He's getting keyed on. They're throwing 8-9 guys in the box.
Yeah.
But against the Saints, I think he might have a pretty decent game this week. I'd give him 100 yards and a touchdown this week. So.
The Monday Nighter this weekend, Green Bay traveling to Denver. Denver coming off a huge victory at Mile High. They got up early on the Pittsburgh Steelers, let Pittsburgh tie the game, and at the end, Jay Cutler doing his best impression of John Elway, leading his team down the field, putting them into a position to win. And I think, in my opinion, Denver could be turning it around now, finally believing in their young quarterback. I think they get off with a big win here.
I think Cutler, he impressed me a lot last week. He made tough throws, and he has a cannon. He's got all the confidence in the world. And last game against a very good Pittsburgh defense, he was able to get his team the victory, which is huge, especially for his confidence. And I think coming in I think they are at home. I think he's going to have a very solid game against Green Bay. Yeah, I like their offense a lot, and I like Travis Henry in this game as well. He came back last week, He only had 60 yards, and he only had 15 or 16 carries. But I think he'll get 20, 25 carries this week, and I think he'll have a solid game too.
Yeah, Travis Henry has had the biggest roller coaster type season so far of the year. He was a late first-round pick, early second-round pick in almost every league that I know of. And then the news came down about the pot smoking issue. That guy's got great legal counsel.
Apparently.
For a guy who has smoked pot to still be playing, there's no end in sight to him being able to play. They're saying he could play through November now. The team's going to let him continue to play. He gives them the best chance to win.
And not too many athletes fight the NFL, so this is kind of
interesting to see.
He must have something really
It seems like he's setting a precedent, trying to get the NFL to relax its rules against marijuana, specifically probably saying things like, look, man, I'm sore after a game, so I go home, I smoke a little pot, and it makes me feel better. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, what's going to happen. You know that Roger Goodell is going to bring
stern, so I have no idea what to expect. So
yeah,
if you got Henry, I suggest get Selvin Young and hope for the best.
Yeah, or it's not a bad idea to try to move Henry, although you will pretty much be selling low because whoever you trade to is going to be like, he's only going to help me until he gets
And then what happens if he's not suspended and then you're losing one of the best running backs in the league?
Yeah, right. So, but specifically for this game, Green Bay, with their winning ways, coming off a bye now, going to Denver, I really think that they're going to be one of those teams who might have a little bit of as a younger team, a little bit of a bye week hangover. Denver really got up big for their game last weekend. I think there's a good chance that Champ Bailey will play. That's going to lock things down in the secondary with Dre Bly on the other side. Don't you think it's going to be kind of a long day for Brett Favre here?
Not only that, and then Green Bay is going to have to run, and they haven't really proven that they could run yet this year. And they got Deshaun Wynn and Jackson
Wait, Deshaun making your team win.
No, he's okay. And then they also got Moroncy, who's been coming in. He's more of their third down guy catching passes. So they haven't really established a run, so I don't really expect them to, have a big game like they're used to.
Yeah.
Especially if Champ Bailey plays. They got two of the best corners in the game. They're not going to be able to throw for 400 yards like they're used to. Or they can't, at least they can't throw in every play like they're used to. They're going to have to try and establish a run. Yeah. Whether they do or not is to be seen. Yeah. So
your pick is as good as mine about which tight end is going to be good in this game. I would say
Scheffler.
Don't go for any tight end, although Zach's saying that Scheffler makes a nice sleeper.
Well, he's finally back healthy, and Cutler seems to be looking his way.
Well, now Scheffler came up lame in their game against Pittsburgh. So
oh, did he?
Yeah, so I don't know what to think about him. He seems the kind of like
if he's healthy, play him.
Denver's tight end situation is real similar to the Patriots in that they like their guys to be able to block as well as catch. So they tend to get taken out of the game. One good Bipocalypse player, Brandon Marshall, in my opinion. I think he gets in the end zone this weekend. And I really wish Javon Walker would have played. We're not injured because I think that this game, given the revenge factor, he could have popped in a major, major way. So I would like to give a big shout out also to another owner, friend of mine, Cabbage. Thank you so much for offering me Marion Barber for Javon Walker last week. A mere 24 to 48 hours before the surgery. How do you always get those deals? Down.
It's kind of like your Cedric Benson for Adrian Peterson deal.
What do you want from me, dude? I ain't a baller.
Why don't people come to me with these deals?
So anyway, that's Testosterone Week 8. Good luck to you and your fantasy teams during the Bipocalypse. Don't forget to check out our Fat Chat immediately following this broadcast. We're on there right now. So log on to testosteronesports.com. Go to the Fat Chat icon. Jump on there. Myself, Jesse Easty. You going to be on there this weekend, Zach?
I'll try and make it.
All right. Possibly Zach making an appearance on there as well. It's Testosterone Week 8. Thanks for joining us. This is Testosterone. You always got to watch. If you want to win, you must tune in to Testosterone.